Hi, I'm Adam. Welcome to my garage. Today I'm going to show you how to make these 1911 grips on that mill. I'm starting out with tool length offsets. I have a small aluminum cylinder with a 3/4 inch hole drilled into it, and I'm measuring from the top of the cylinder to the top of the tool. I use this number in Mach 4 as the tool length offset. I'm making these grips out of red oak. I would recommend something harder, but this is all Orchard Hardware had when I rolled through. I'm also cutting a waste board for the cuts that I have to machine through. This will prevent me from machining into my table. And yeah, I could use a larger blade on my chop saw. The vise needed to be moved back. This RF-31 machine only has about 7.5 inches of wide travel, and my workpiece is about 6 inches. If I didn't move the vise back, I wouldn't be able to reach the front of the workpiece with the cutter. The bolt holes in the vise no longer match the T-slots in the table, so I'm using some toe clamps to hold it down. You can never find a good dead blow hammer when you need it. The drill is my longest tool. I'm installing it here and raising the head until the drill clears the workpiece. I then install the shortest tool, which is the face mill, and make sure I still have enough travel. This machine only has about 5.5 inches of Z travel, so it's easy to run out. These Heimer 3D tasters are not cheap, but very cool. Highly recommended if you can afford it. I'm using Tormach's tool holding system because it really speeds up the tool changes. I have gotten creative with how I mount the Heimer and the drill chuck. Tormach sells mounts for these, but they add over 1 inch of Z, and that's problematic on a machine with this short of a Z travel. So what I've done is I've found 3/4 inch arbors, and I let the body of the Heimer and the drill chuck rest up against Tormach's collet. This works, but it does screw with your tool length offset, so be aware of that. Additionally, it unloads the taper connection between the drill chuck and the arbor, so I wouldn't recommend this for any heavy duty cuts. This is Tormach's Superfly cutter with an aluminum insert. I've cut some aluminum with it and it does a beautiful job. It's a good size cutter for this size machine. The cut right now is the back of the grip, so this is the side of the grips that will rest up against the gun. This is also going to be Z0 for the next operation. I mounted this in a vise so that I could face off the whole top of the part. The next operation will be in toe clamps. You may notice it looks like the table's moving a little bit when it's stationary. That's the entire machine rocking back and forth. It needed to be shimmed on one side. I actually didn't notice it until I went back and watched the video. This tool here is cutting clearance for the screw studs on the frame of the gun. It's also cutting out weight savings pockets. This is originally designed to be cut into aluminum. Wood grips don't need weight savings, but this let me test out the code. This ball nose end mill is cutting a relief groove for the plunger tube. You can also see there the relief cut for the left-handed safety. I'm setting the position of my toe clamps with the previously machined face of the part facing up. This is so that I can see where I need tool clearance. After I am comfortable with where the toe clamps are positioned, I'll flip it over to the side that we're going to machine. Again, I need to reset the height of the head of the machine. As you can see, the tool won't make it all the way down to the workpiece in that configuration. This is something of a difficult thing to do on wood because it's so bumpy, but you kind of just work it until you get the noise averaged. This is what a tool change looks like from the top of the machine. The impact wrench loosens the drawbar without the need to anti-rotate the tool at the bottom with your hand, and then a tap of the hammer pops the tool loose from the collet. This tool is a single flute, straight-edged router bit. I got it at Home Depot. I'm using this style of a bit because your standard end mill tends to pull out pieces at the top of the wood. So the straight edge of this cutter prevents some of that tear out. Right now we're ramping down for a slot cut around the part. I modeled this in Fusion 360 and used their integrated CAM software to generate all the G-code. I'm using an adaptive clearing move to remove all the material inside of the slot cut and above the grip. The grip is somewhat dome-shaped, so this has to clear at a bunch of different levels. And I never got happy with how it ordered the different moves. It jumps around a lot from side to side. Later versions of this I was able to get a little bit happier with how it moved, but never got completely satisfied. In the end, the job got done. I'm using Fusion 360's parallel tool path with a 1/4 inch ball nose end mill and 20 thou step overs. If I was doing this again, I'd probably bump to 30 thou step overs because the lines were almost imperceptible between each pass. It required very little sanding. Unfortunately, this is where my battery ran out of phone and I didn't get any more machining video after this. The part out pass was supposed to cut completely through, but it ended up a little bit shallow and left a small web of material. This broke out very easily. These grips feel extremely light, so later on I'll fill the weight savings pockets with epoxy to help reinforce them. The aluminum grips turn out great with those pockets in them. When using 5-minute epoxy, I'm a big proponent of the double pour method. I know a lot of people will complain that it doesn't actually make it stronger, or it's not even possible, but haters gonna hate, right? After watching a bunch of YouTube videos, I chose boiled linseed oil as my finish. I later discovered that I don't like the smell of linseed oil, and the smell never really goes away, so next time I'll probably do something different, but this works for basic protection in any case. And here's the completed grips. This shows them next to the original wood to give you an idea of the difference in color. Hit me up in the comments if you have any questions, and if you like this video, do me a favor and go make something.